Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. I'm your host, Barbara, and I'm glad you're joining us today. We have a lot to cover in today's show. But first, let's dive into the ongoing situation between Russia and Ukraine. There are reports of a potential meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump in the coming days, which has sparked hopes for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. According to sources, Trump's special envoy, Witkoff, recently met with Putin in Moscow to discuss possible peace negotiations. Putin has also been reaching out to other world leaders, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and several Central Asian leaders, to brief them on the latest developments in Ukraine. The Kremlin has announced that preparations are underway for a face-to-face meeting between Trump and Putin, although U.S. officials have not confirmed these plans. It's worth noting that while there is optimism about the potential for peace talks, many experts remain skeptical about the likelihood of a breakthrough. Putin has shown no signs of backing down from his demands, which include Ukraine's renunciation of occupied territories, a commitment to neutral status, and restrictions on the size of its military. The situation is complex, and it's difficult to predict what will happen next. But one thing is certain: the world is watching closely, and any developments in this situation will have far-reaching implications. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you updates as more information becomes available. In the meantime, let's take a look at some other news from around the world. The price of oil has been affected by the ongoing conflict, with Russia boosting its oil exports despite drone strikes disrupting refining capacity. The Russian stock index has also surged on news of the upcoming Putin-Trump meeting. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara, and we're glad you're joining us again after that brief break. As we continue to explore the latest developments from around the world, our attention now turns to a significant story unfolding in the South Caucasus region. Today, we're focusing on a peace agreement aimed at ending decades of conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. This is a complex issue with deep historical roots, involving territorial disputes, particularly over the Nagorno-Karabakh region, which has been a source of tension and violence for years. According to recent reports, the United States has brokered a deal that could potentially ease regional tensions and open up new economic opportunities. The agreement includes plans for a transit route across southern Armenia, linking Azerbaijan's territory to its exclave of Nakhchivan, bordering Turkey. This project, dubbed the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity, or TRIP, is seen as a key component of the peace deal. It's worth noting that this development comes after years of unsuccessful negotiations involving Russia, the U.S., and France. The conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan has resulted in significant loss of life, with over 30,000 people killed in the early 1990s, and at least 6,000 during a 44-day conflict in 2020. The administration behind this deal believes it will not only help reduce tensions, but also unlock economic potential in the region. Talks on the commercial aspects of the agreement are set to begin soon, with the U.S. aiming to secure exclusive development rights for the TRIP project. However, as with any international agreement, there are concerns and challenges ahead. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan had previously expressed reservations about a transit corridor, citing sovereignty issues. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan's energy exports, including oil and natural gas, play a significant role in its economy and could be impacted by the terms of this deal. As we navigate these complex geopolitical waters, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and the potential long-term implications of such agreements. The involvement of global powers like the US, Russia, and Turkey, adds another layer of complexity to the situation. In conclusion, while this peace agreement marks a significant step towards resolving a long-standing conflict, its success will depend on the ability of all parties involved to work together and address the underlying issues that have led to decades of strife. As always, we'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to take a moment to discuss some important developments in Queensland, Australia. We've been following the story of the state's parliamentary budget estimates for 2025. And it's been quite a ride. Now, I know some of our listeners might be thinking, budget estimates? That sounds like a snooze fest. But bear with me, folks, because there are some interesting tidbits to unpack. The Chrysopholy government has been under scrutiny for its handling of various issues, including women's safety reform and government spending. According to reports, Premier David Chrysopholy has clocked an impressive 58 flight legs since November at a cost of almost $550,000. That's a lot of airtime. While the Premier's office argues that these flights are necessary to connect with regional communities, others are crying foul, saying it's excessive and a waste of taxpayer dollars. Meanwhile, there's been some controversy surrounding the role of John Sasso, who seems to be wearing multiple hats in the Queensland government. He's been appointed to several influential positions, including the Judicial Appointments Advisory Panel and the Queensland Redistribution Commission. Some are questioning whether this is a case of too much power concentrated in one person's hands. Now, I want to emphasize that we're not here to take sides or make value judgments. Our goal at Barbara's Bulletin is to provide you with accurate, unbiased information, so you can form your own opinions. It's essential to consider multiple perspectives and evaluate the evidence before making up your minds. As we close out today's show, I encourage you all to stay engaged with the issues that matter to you. Whether it's women's safety reform, government spending, or something else entirely. Remember that informed citizens are the backbone of a healthy democracy. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.